All right, so today, guys, we got a fairly new one for you today. We picked up this cherry-looking old Ford, two-tone, brown, and well, something else. So let's give you a walk around of this thing, show you what we're going to do with it. And this was a sister car to one we've been working on the channel, that 63 Mercury Meteor. I don't know, always stumble for that one. This is a 64 Mercury Comet. So let me show it to you. All right, so it's a couple different colors of brown. It's got some blue enhancements here. So most of this stuff, these all came out of the West. So these, while it's surface rust, obviously it's gonna need some new glass, not uncommon. It needs some love. We'll get inside here in a second. But for the most part, you know, the body needs, I think what we're going to do with this is just clear over it, you know, give it a little bit of love, clear over it, eventually get the Comet words. So this is a Comet Caliente, right? 4-door. I'll show you what's under the hood here in a second, but it needs some love. But being out west, it's not really rusty. Someone used the side as a brake. So we went picking in that boneyard the other day, that salvage yard. I picked up that taillight because, well, that one's got some extra ventilation on it. And just in case you guys are curious, that's the front range right here. We are just outside of Denver, Colorado. Got some ideas for this one, if the wife doesn't kill me for bringing more cars home. All right, so let me show you inside this thing. So it needs some love, some seat covers, that kind of thing. So we had it moved here. Been sitting about 6 months. The battery still works. Like I said, it's not brand new. It needs some love. Got some mouse house stuffing there. Dash pad and some cleanup work. We got us a remnants of an 8-track, but it needs a dash pad. It needs some love, without a doubt. We'll have to do some things. Now you notice she's got 3 pedals, but 1 shifter. So this is what they call 3 on a tree. Got the high performance sport mirrors. And yes, the wife's gonna kill me when I bring this one home. We came by yesterday and we dropped some stuff off. The guys up here were nice enough to cover this for us. We can do some work to it. But I think a lot of these old cars, they just need some love. Granted, it kind of looks like a big pile of crap right now, but I think with a little bit of work, I don't know. I got a couple visions of how to do this car, but you guys tell me, I'll let you know later. But I think that with just a little bit of work, you know, I think it's gonna look nice, a little patina. So let's look under the hood. Let's see. There's the main, there's the secondary. So it's got a little Ford 260 in it. Now it has the optional heater delete kit on it. But you know, there's not a lot to these old dudes. It still has the, I guess that's antifreeze. Yep. We're gonna go through it a little bit. See what we can do. If we can drive it, we will. We live about 900 miles from Denver. We actually drove out and brought some stuff with us. So I did bring my deck lid key because, well, it all has that optional key delete kit. So when the forums say this is the lock you need for that car, not so much. There we go. Okay, never hurts to be able to see what you're doing. So in the older cars, the floor of the trunk was always the gas tank. Makes it easy to change. There's a lock kit that, oh, that's the right one. Like the early version of a high lift jack, the old bumper jack. I'm guessing mouse house right there. But like I said, overall, she may not be easy on the eyes. but I think mechanically it's fairly sound. We're gonna go through, change some fluids, get her started up. I know she runs, so it's not like will it start, so it's not that. All right, let's see how the fluid looks here before we start changing things. Doesn't look too bad. Kind of looks like gear lube though. It's not coal black, but it's definitely thick. All right, so let's get this changed and we'll work our way back. There was a mouse house in the back. We did shoo all that away. You can still see some of the remnants. If you don't know, a lot of you, I don't want to call you old timers because that's what I am. That is the bag they used to put the squirter bottles in, or the squirter fluid in. And how could you get mad at that view? Great picture of the range. And it's hard to see, but over here, there's actually snow on top of the mountains already. Calling for snow next week. One thing nice with Harbor Freight, you can catch deals. We get these little lightweight jacks and a pair of stands for under $100. Well, someone painted a nice pretty blue at least. You can see that pan has been hit all kinds of stuff. Alright, let's get this oil changed. Curious to see what that rear end lube looks like. That's in a wrench. Big ass drain. Tumbleweeds everywhere. Yeah, so let me know if you guys like this kind of stuff. Eventually I wanted to get to the point where we can, I don't know, this one I've never had up to speed, so I'm a little reluctant, but that's part of this. We're gonna take her out and see if we can drive her home or not. It's only 900 miles. Get the oil, get the filter. Oh, fuel filter too. Let me bring you in here. So this has a twist-on fuel filter. It actually takes a cartridge. So this is very similar to what we did on the Meteor. You can see this thing had a few impacts. A little different front end than the Meteor though. The Meteor's got some weird arms that actually go back to help the ride a little bit. This is more of a conventional, if you will. But since it was since it spent most of its time out west, really ain't too bad in here. You know, torsion rods for suspension. So I do know the old boy who had it. He did put new brake hoses on it, although we did bring hoses and everything with us. All right. So I need to get the filter on and keep going. Are you a put the oil in the filter type person? Or you a put it on drive type person? Let me know in the comments. I'm kind of curious. Seems to be everybody's just a little bit different on this one. Now I'm putting the Rotel in it because when I've read it's got more zinc in it, and I got to add zinc or ZDP. So otherwise it would just be a standard Castrol. So what do you guys use? Let's try from the top. All right, so if you can't get it off, you can always go scorched earth. But the minute you drive that screwdriver in, you're committed to making this work. I don't know why people put these on so darn tight. but she was not coming off, and you couldn't get a socket on the back. So you can always drive a screwdriver through it. But once again, the minute you do that, you are committed to this whole process. I don't know why people put these things on and put them on so darn tight that you gotta go to church and pray to get it off. Oh, there we go. All right, that's off. You can see we had to destroy that thing. Once that screwdriver goes in, that's a point of no return. That needs changed. That thing's filthy. So one thing I was looking at on the Meteor, we put that power booster in. I gotta try to figure out how to work around that. Might have to make a whole new custom bracket possibly for the support for the subframe to be able to get that booster out. It'll be interesting because it's getting way up in that little single service master cylinder. Start working on the back of this thing now. She's got a long back end. I had my ramps. I'm gonna put the jack stand under it and then maybe leave the jack in there. Yep, that's what we're gonna do. All right, get this goo out of here. There we go. Let's see if we can get this out of here without busting my knuckles. I bet this smells great. Nothing smells better than gear lube. Okay, let's see. Yeah, it must have been changed fairly recently, because that's good and wet still. Okay. Tell you what, I got the stuff here. Let me go ahead and just change it. Okay, got a little suction pump here. See if we can get this out without making too big of a mess. Let's see here. Well, I got this backwards. Almost always do at first. Oh, that's something thick. Oof. All right. All right, just some good old 80/90. Now I can see that the guy I bought this from did say he put new, worked on the brakes, and I can see new bleeders in them. So that's always a good sign. Get this thing back and clean off all the goop off the back of this housing here. Okay. All right, rear end, engine. All right, so the one thing nice about a Ford, just so you know, am I recording? I am recording, okay. I got oil on the paint.
Whatever you're gonna do.
One thing nice about a Ford is that as long as your ignition is on, you can use a trigger. Take this off. I think it hasn't been changed since the Stone Ages. Now, one thing about this car, you got to make sure she's in neutral because it's a manual. So a little bump. Here we go. I knew this one ran a little better than the Mercury or the Meteor. Uh-oh, no choke. Engine sounds pretty good. Little lifter chick. I mean, good Lord, she's, let's see, 2 years older than me, so, well, she's 60. So I brought gauges. I need to see how the oil pressure actually is. Let's see here. If I got any holes in the firewall that I can just push through. Brought a cap. Thought I brought a rotor, but I did not. I can always just sand that tip a little bit, but they really don't look that bad. We got a cap. I think it's got new points and condenser in it, so that's always good. We'll lube up the distributor a little bit. That doesn't look too bad. Well, we've got one, so we'll change it. Sand this dude and put all that back in. And we just transfer. It definitely needs a new set of wires. These things are getting a little brittle. Gonna feel them click. So like the Meteor, when I changed all that stuff out, somebody had, they had the wires indexed. They must have the distributor out and they had to index all the wires one. All right. Alright, let's get the gauge in there so we can try to figure out how much pressure we got. Alright, try it inside out. Okay, let's see where that came out. Let's see. Oh, here she is. That kind of works. Bring it around this side, maybe up and over. Because I don't think the sending unit's working in this thing. Because it's showing no pressure. Alright, so just fish this through. And we're just going to, however long it is. For now, the gauge will be on the floor. And we can always come back and, once we take out our Elite sound system here, I'm not even sure if I've got an 8-track. So if you guys have any 8-tracks, or if you had an 8-track when you were growing up and you had a favorite tape, let me know what that is. I've got one of my own. I've got one that I listen to non-stop, and it always changed right in the middle of the song. Our Elite plastic mounting system, also called zip ties. We got that dude in there. Let's go see if this thing's charging. Generators don't put out a lot of juice anyway. Terminal should be tighter, but it needs a new terminal. It's always a good sign. Negative terminal. She stays running. Well, that's tight. I think the back and up is reverse. Down should be first. That's good. There's brakes.
Long ride.
What? I can't hear him.
He was pointing at something.
My dragon straps?
I think so.
Trying to feel out where that clutch is. It really doesn't steer that bad for no power.
Like no power steering.
There's no power steering or brakes in this car. Maybe I need to shift. So first is down, second is back and up. Oh, let's see. Up, here we go. We got to push back. A little different being 3 on a tree. So there's a little thing down there. We're going to go down to that. See if I can get it right. Oh, right there, there. see if we get third. So there's no seat belts. Don't tell your mother we don't have seat belts. Just learn in the video. You already told her? You told her? Oh. Okay. Well, I'm in trouble. Okay, let's see first. There we go. It's got a nice cushy Mercury ride. Just kind of floats.
It's not bad.
So we're charging. It's not hot yet. We got. So far so good. But I can feel the front end. The front end's got some issues. And getting parts for a 64 Comet is not something you just go up and do. It says 44,171. I assume that's probably 100 and. Feels like it's had a vacuum leak somewhere. Need a tack on this thing. Oh, where's it? There it is. Not very smooth. I would think that if I've got to drive maybe 300 or 400 miles, maybe, I don't know, 1,000. Tell you what, I'll drive the other car, you drive this one back. You guys can't see the look I got, but you can imagine. You gotta check the fuses. Now on these older cars, if you don't know, the fuses are actually on the bottom of the light switch. So it's nice and hard to get to. Thinking of doing like a rally, like some KO3s on it or something like that. And then it needs some work. I mean, it's like new.
Slightly used.
Slightly used. Clutch definitely needs adjusted because it's almost, it doesn't do anything until it's all the way down. Alright, so that was getting our 64 Comet Caliente up and running. Now, running is a relative term, right? We could probably drive 100-ish miles, but not 1,000 miles back to St. Louis. That's going to require something else. So we're going to get it back there, do some more work to it. So we got the oil, rear end differential, fluid change, did some tune-up work, pressure gauge. It still needs some love, right? We're going to do some work on some of the body stuff. But I'm thinking about doing like a rally style build with this. Let me know what you think. Hope you like this kind of stuff. And don't forget to subscribe to the Russ and Dink Garage. See you in the next video.